surgery had on Nusaybah's life, so I'm breaking this down, is the negative impact was she was born premature, so now there was other issues that could potentially happen, her lungs and everything. I mean, everything was kind of formed, but you know, you have problems with premature kids. She didn't face that many, to be fair. She, bless her, she was out within 2 weeks when she had been transferred to, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But in terms of movement, she still couldn't feel anything in her legs at all, and that was something Dr. Deprest had spoken to me about, so I was aware of it. And so she had no movements in her hips at all. I remember my husband went to see her, and it's just that thing where you hoped that she probably would, but she didn't. When you talk about her ventricles, they hadn't gone down, like I said. So after I had the operation of a C-section, I was in the Birmingham Women's. On day 4, they had to take her to Birmingham Children's Hospital, and they took her there because they had to get the shunt fitted and they had to operate on her. That was really emotional because it was in the middle of the night. Because what they do is they give you a separate room on the wards. Ward 1, I think it was, or Ward 3, I can't remember. Because they don't want you to hear the crying of the babies. So you're in the room, and I had lots of family members that could visit me, so that was good for me to see if I was okay and stuff. And I remember anyone asked me I'm okay, you just keep crying. Just keep crying, because obviously you think you've done something wrong, you feel you've done this to your baby, and I just used to keep crying. I was an emotional wreck, but obviously I had a bad baby. I was full of hormones, and I remember anyone asked me, I was just like crying and crying and crying. Yeah. So it didn't affect her. So she didn't have a shunt to get fitted. But that would then ultimately help her with the waters and everything. And it was described, like it was explained, all of it was explained to my husband, what was going to happen, the procedure, everything. Because we thought that the thing would go straight to his brain, but it wasn't. It's just a little tube that goes into the brain. Everything else is on the outside, under the skin. And but the cardiac malfunction had reversed. And the reason that's important is because if she still had cardiac malfunction, she would probably have trouble swallowing, sometimes have trouble breathing. She would have short periods of not breathing, apnea, and she has none of that. She can eat and chew her food herself. She doesn't need her food to be pureed. She eats it all herself, mashallah, and all of that's fine. Cognitively, she's aware. She knows what's going on. Everything. She is just brilliant, and so that bit I'm really, really grateful for, because the fetal surgery did reverse that. So that's a big thing for me. So even if it was for that, I think the fetal surgery for me was worth it. It was worth going through all that for her, because ultimately I helped her. And so it did help her.